Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today in this video, I'm gonna show how to dual boot macOS Sequoia and Windows 11 on a PC without Mac. So before starting, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and stay connected for the latest updates. So without further ado, let's get started. For this dual boot guide, you'll require a PC that is compatible with macOS. To know more about the hardware compatibility list, please check our forum. Separate drives for Windows and macOS installation, a USB with a minimum of 8 GB, and a working internet connection. This guide is focused on installing macOS and Windows on 2 separate drives. Later, a guide will be published for configuring a dual boot on a single drive. Now, after getting ready with the requirements, make sure to have a backup of your storage drives, as the drives will be formatted. Now, download Windows 11 ISO and Rufus from the link provided. After downloading the files, plug the USB, and after the USB is attached, open Rufus. Now drag the Windows 11 ISO to the Rufus window, and then click on Start. Now from the Windows User Experience Options menu. You mostly don't need to customize Windows installation. But if your hardware isn't compatible to Windows 11, check this Remove requirement and then click on OK. Removing online Microsoft requirements is optional. Now just click on OK, and your Windows 11 Bootable USB will be created in a while. After the USB is ready, close Rufus and then eject the bootable USB. Now power on your target system and boot to BIOS. Here, load BIOS defaults and then change the following settings. Now, plug Windows 11 Bootable USB into the PC and boot to the boot menu. Here, select your USB followed by the UEFI prefix and press Enter to boot. Now select your language and keyboard layout and click on Next. From Setup option, select I would like to install Windows 11, and then check the box, and click on Next. Here, if you have a Windows 11 product key, fill it in and then click on Next. Otherwise click on I don't have a product key. From the operating system list, select the OS you want to install and then click on Next. Now accept the license terms. Now here one by one, select each drive's partition and click on Delete. After making the drives unallocated, so the delete option is grayed out. Select one of the drive on which you want to install Windows 11, and click on Next and then click on Install. And in a while Windows will be installed. Now set up your Windows 11 according to your preference. After reaching the Windows 11 desktop, plug your Ethernet, or connect to internet using Wi-Fi. After that, open Settings and then go to the Windows Update tab and then check for updates and install all the updates available, and restart, if needed. After installing all the updates, close Settings, and now it's time to create a macOS Sequoia Bootable USB. For this purpose, you'll require OpenCore package, EFI according to your target hardware. To create an EFI for yourself, follow the guide from the I button. Rufus for formatting the USB. Also, one USB with a minimum of 1 GB is required. Firstly, we'll create macOS Sequoia Bootable USB installer, and after that, we will install it. For creating the USB, you'll need Python. To install Python, open Microsoft Store, then search for Python. Here, click on Get to install it. After Python is installed, close Microsoft Store, and then open the OpenCore package folder, and then go to the Utilities folder. Now here, select the Mac Recovery folder, and then copy the folder as path. After copying, run command prompt as administrator. Now in the command prompt, type cd, and with one space paste the copied path, and press the Enter key. Now, open the Mac Recovery folder under the Utilities folder of OpenCore package, and then open the Recovery URLs test file. In the text file, scroll till last, and then copy the URL as shown. After copying the URL, paste it to the command prompt window, and with one space type download and then press Enter key. And now, a new command prompt window will open and few files will be downloaded. After the download is complete, the second command prompt window will exit. Now close the command prompt, and verify that a base system.chunklist and base system.dmg are available in the following folder. Now plug your USB, also make sure to have a backup of your USB, as USB will be erased. And after the USB appears, open Rufus. Now in the Rufus window, select your USB from the dropdown, then select non-bootable from the drop-down list under boot selection. Set the partition scheme to MBR, and target system to BIOS. Under the format section set the file system to large FAT32, and then change the volume label to EFI, and click on Start, then OK to erase the USB. After the USB is erased, close Rufus, and then browse to your USB. Here delete both the files, and then copy the com.apple.recovery.boot folder from the following folder, and then paste it to the USB. After the file is copied, copy the EFI of your target system, and paste it to the USB. And now everything is done. Restart your PC, and boot to BIOS. Here in BIOS, set your USB as first boot option, as macOS installation will restart a few times. And if you don't set USB as a first boot option, you'll end up booting to Windows on every restart. Now after making the changes, exit BIOS saving changes. After booting to OpenCore, boot using EFI DMG, and wait for some time to boot to the installer. From here, select your preferred language and click on the right arrow button. And now before proceeding, make sure that you're connected to the internet. For connecting to the internet, you can use a USB router, USB to Ethernet adapter, Ethernet or Wi-Fi, if available. After getting connected, select Disk Utility and click on Continue. Here, click on View and then click on Show All Devices. Now select the drive view unallocated for the macOS installation. The unallocated drive left for the macOS installation won't have any partitions. Also, you can verify the capacity of the drive you left for Mac installation. After selecting the drive, click on the Erase button and erase the drive with the following parameters. After erasing the drive, close this utility and now select Reinstall macOS Sequoia and click on Continue. And then continue with the installer. And here if clicking on Continue doesn't work, quit Install macOS and continue with it again and proceed with the installer. Also, if you have connected to Ethernet, and still getting this error, please check out the guide for fixing it. The link to the guide will be in the I button and description as well. Here, select the drive you created and then click on Continue. And now macOS Sequoia will be installed in a while. Keep in mind that the installation process may take a while depending on your internet speed, and during the installation, your PC will restart several times. So don't worry about it. And finally, the macOS Sequoia setup screen is here. Set up your macOS according to your preferences.
The colors of the sky fade with the setting sun as the stars begin to shine through the clear night.
After reaching the Sequoia desktop, you must make the PC boot independently without USB. For that, mount the ESP of your system drive. After mounting the ESP, copy the EFI folder from your USB and paste it into the EFI partition of the system drive. After putting the EFI, eject the EFI partitions and USB as well. And now restart your PC, and boot to BIOS. In BIOS, set the first boot option as per your preference. And now you can boot either of the OS using boot menu. Finally, everything is done. And as you can see, macOS Sequoia is installed successfully. Now it's time to switch to Windows 11. And as you can see, Windows 11 is also running and the dual boot has been configured to the PC successfully. So that was it. Hope it was useful. Consider like for the video, and subscribe to the channel. And if you have any questions, just comment down below or create a thread on our forum. Make sure to check out the forum for in-depth guides. Thanks for watching and have a great day ahead.